Say hey, everyone. Welcome into another edition of Say Hey Plays. My name is Jose Bouquett. Alongside me today, my father, Jimmy the Bag. Jimmy, how are you doing?
I am doing most excellent. Happy Memorial Day to everybody. I threw on a Yankees jersey just to show my love for the greatest country in the world. And I believe that is America.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I don't often hear the term Yankees and Americans as one, but that you're right. You're right there. So shout out to everyone today on Memorial Day. And we'll get this out of the way. Thank you for bringing it up, Jimmy. Today is the last day of the Memorial Day sale from our friends at Dr. Squatch, Jimmy. Our friends at Dr. Squatch here, soap company. They make lovely natural soaps for guys. I know they do. They've got the Galaxy bundle here. Connor Mack was particularly interested in the soap called the Black Hole.
Yeah, sure. I'm sure. Yeah, sure. His taint probably needs a good scrubbing.
Of course, all of ours do.
Not mine right now. I'm fresh as a daisy. I'm clean. We got a huge pick six at Santa Anita. I got a big poker game tonight. Got more MLB action I want to bet. So I'm feeling good, man.
Okay, well, I'm glad you could feel even better with Dr. Squatch, Jimmy. Let me tell you, you smell better for sure. With the Black Hole, you rub it on you. It smells great. Right now, it's the last day, like I said, of the Memorial Day sale. You spend $60, you save $15. You spend $45, you save $10 with promo codes Memorial10 and Memorial15. Use the link in the description right now in our YouTube video. I was going to say page, but video. Go click on it and go give your support to our friends at Dr. Squatch. It's going to be a good time today, Jimmy. I can feel your energy. I feel you're fired up today. You feeling good on Monday?
Yeah, I feel real good, man. I got a ton of sleep last night. I poured a little crack into my cup just to make sure I was ready to fire off, man. And I love being on your show. And I love seeing all the great cappies in the chat, man. I'm ready to rock. I'm pumped.
I can tell. I like how fired up you are. Before we get into the baseball and Say Hey Plays and all that, let's talk about yesterday. Let's talk about yesterday. What happened? Miami Heat lose to the Celtics. A lot of Heat fans in this comments. Shout out to my guy Terry Coker, who tried to call his shot. Woke up bright and early at 6:23 a.m. to send me this lovely comment. Are you ready, Heat hater? After the Heat wins tonight, please put some respect on Jimmy Butler's name. Terry was nice enough to comment after the game, like right as it was ending, that he said they conceded whatever. It was a great series. The Celtics were the better team and all that stuff. But shout out to my man Terry Coker, and I made Terry a little video. Terry a little video because I remembered every time that my guy Terry commented in there, especially after the Heat. I couldn't make this video for AOD in the Real Madrid. However, I did get the satisfaction of making this for my guy Terry Coker. So Jimmy, I'm gonna play this. Oh, I'll risk the non-monetization just for you, Terry Coker.
Take me back to a place where I felt at home. Take me back to a day when we weren't alone. Take me back to an age when the world felt small. Way back before we blew it all. Take me back to a place where I felt at home. Take me back to a day when we weren't alone. Take me back to an age when the world felt small.
The Celtics going to their 22nd NBA Finals.
I can't keep track of them all from people.
I hated to see it. I didn't want to make that, Terry Coker. I didn't want to make that, and I hope you're in the comments. Shout out to you, my man. It was a well-fought series. Jimmy Butler has my respect, except for that fat piece of shit, Kyle Lowry, who you love. I can't stand Kyle Lowry, but Jimmy Butler, of course, respect. But a big screw you to Kyle Lowry, and I hope you enjoy your vacation.
Well, I'm happy for you. And your successes. I've already bet the Warriors game 1.
Okay. All right. I thought you were about to say series. I was about to fight you right here.
I was pretty interested in Warriors game 1 Celtics series, but that only paid out plus 425. and you should be way more rewarded, I think, for calling that type of a thing. So that didn't hit. But I yesterday for me, I bet the Blue Jays again. As I said, I would bet them every day here on out.
Yeah.
And everybody was on the Angels. Everybody, talking about, oh, right, like a team with this winning percentage avoiding the sweep at home. This is a gift. And we didn't even start Vladdy or Teoscar. It didn't matter. We win again.
I've been talking about it on this show too. I've said it every day since you said it. I've said, let's just remind ourselves. Jimmy did say a couple days ago he is blind betting the Blue Jays every day, and I was like, I don't know how it's gonna go, but I told you the first day, but we won obviously. I was on Angels first 5 in that last game, the 11-10 game. We won that, and then of course you win as well. So, and I was on the over in that game, so it's simpatico here, Jim. It's a great time.
And we have Giolito to beat tomorrow.
And the Red Sox tried to do it the other day, and I like the Blue Jays. I can't wait. You're going to plus like 130, 140 maybe on them.
I'm sure it's just dropped here at my book, just as my voice did as well. No, it has not dropped yet. I'll be waiting for it. You know what? I tell you, it's just pretty simple here. For a team to hit 179 with runners in scoring position, have the toughest schedule in the league, and still be 22-20, what does that tell me, Jose? It tells me that they're the best team in the entire league. Because anybody else who had that tough of a schedule, who hit 179 with runners in scoring position, would be worse than the Reds. That's what it tells me.
The Red Sox had something just like this, and they were just as bad as the Reds. So I'm right there with you. I like the Blue Jays. I think they will start hitting. So I trust the elders when they speak. But Jimmy, I think my favorite part about this show is that we haven't even started the show yet, Jimmy. Because guess what now? We're on to Say Hey Plays 54. 54 days.
Straight days, Jose.
54 straight days of these Johns. And we're going strong here, Jimmy. And guess what? The record is going strong too yesterday. A 3-3 yesterday. No units lost or won, which was a very interesting day, of course. I put in a no run in the first inning parlay for shits and giggles. Of course, that lost on the third leg. That's as classic all parlays do. But like I mentioned, we had the over and the Angels first 5, and that hit, and we were all giddy. So it was great times. 174 and 160, up 15.79 units on the year so far. Jim, I have a question for you. Sure. I'm going to ask you this, and I don't want this to cause a rift in our relationship. This is where I'll start this. I want us to be father-son forever. I don't want to be ever taken off your will. Will I be third? Maybe.
Let me say something to Jose, that fathers and sons, they don't always get along, right? They don't always even like each other. So you're in business, buddy. Don't worry.
Okay, fair enough. I'm having these lessons now. I don't know these things. What will happen if I do end up with a better MLB record than you on the season? Will you like me more or less? Because I have a feeling it will be more, but I didn't want that to come between us. I know your MLB record is coming up, and it probably will be better than me eventually. And to end the season, it probably will be. But at this moment, it might not be. And I just wanted to ask you, because I wanted to see these relationship boundaries, where they're at.
Sure. It's an easy answer. If you don't have a better record than me,
oh no,
only capping one North American sport, in the summertime, I will be ashamed of you.
Okay, that's fair.
So there's only one thing you can do. You have to have a better record than me. I'm a very busy man.
You are.
And you're focusing all your action on baseball. I expect you to have a better record than me. This is a very good father-son. I'm proud of your record. I believe it will continue to succeed, and I need you to be better than me. That's the only way we're going to find success on this channel, is if you're much better than me.
I did get a taste of capping all of the North American sports while you were gone, and my record did plummet like a rock while you were gone. So I do need you as much as you need me, Jimmy. So that is a lovely part of our relationship.
Well, and look at that. As you say that, Paul Taylor the Sailor comes in. My
ahoy!
God. With a dono. So happy I made it for the live father-son moment. Oh, man.
When is Father's Day, by the way?
It is on Saturday. So wait, the Belmont is on June 11th. So Father's Day must be on June 19th.
So I would appreciate if you cleared your schedule. that whatever that is, maybe we'll have a Father's Day special that day. Maybe we could get your dad on here.
My dad will be in town next week. He doesn't watch us and wants nothing to do with us.
Well, I mean, we've had a conversation before, me and him. It was a great conversation.
Have
Yeah.
Oh, when I
We've
was
had a
down in
conversation.
okay, yeah, I feel you.
Yeah, in California.
Yeah, he's not in. He's a sports fan and he doesn't want anything to do with us. So
Well, fair enough. I think he'll want to do something with me. It's maybe a little conversation or two. Who knows? But
he always did try to make me jealous of him, liking other kids better than me. So that wouldn't be the
Okay.
first time. Yeah.
All right. I'm glad that this has become a little bit of therapy now too. 12 minutes into Say Hey Plays 54, and we're learning a lot about each other. This is how self-discovery happens through capping baseball. Speaking of capping baseball, how about we talk about game one, Jimmy? Are you ready?
Let's talk about game one, but a lot of people are asking me what move I'm making in NHL, and I tell you what, after winning 10 of my last 11 NHL picks, I'm not doing shit. I'm not doing a goddamn thing. I made so much money over the last little while. If I had a free people are trying to milk somebody. If I had a free $500 bet, sure, I'll take the Hurricanes -1. But if the Rangers win, I win both my playoff pools. I'm going to be at a poker game today, $200 buy-in, 1-2 no limit. Like I just going to sit back and enjoy the fruits of the labor, which have been glorious of late. So not doing anything. I apologize if that doesn't make good content, but I don't care. I need to know who is in the next round, though, because I have Futures, Conference, and Stanley Cup on the Lightning, Futures, Conference, and Stanley Cup on the Avalanche. And so I will parlay the two teams I don't have for like $100, maybe $150, something like that. Pay the K just to make sure that I can't lose, and we move forward into the night. So I apologize if I put you guys to sleep with that. But no action for me. All I want to do is talk MLB. Let's fucking go.
Well, my action is Canes and 7. There's the action right there from me. There's your expert analysis from Jose Hockey. Speaking of expert analysis, let's talk about the Guardians and the Royals. I've got nothing on this game. We'll start there. He's Zach here. Most of you guys that watch the show consistently know I'm a Zach Plesac guy. I like my man Plesac a lot. He's very Jekyll and Hyde, though, and his last 2 starts pretty much signify that exactly. At Houston, obviously not an easy place to go to, but it's not impossible anymore without Correa. 4 2/3, 9 hits, 7 earned runs there, home run allowed, 5 Ks and a walk. Not going to cut it. Not going to cut it in this league. Versus the Reds, before that, he goes 6 innings, 6 hits, 2 earned runs, 3 Ks, 2 walks. Is he a bottom feeder? I'm not sure. We'll see. Maybe the start against the Royals will be an indicator here. Jimmy, I know you've got a lot of bottom feeder jokes in your holster after saying that. I know, just keep them in there. Keep them in there. I saw that look. At the Arizona Diamondbacks, 5 innings, 4 hits, 3 earned runs off 2 home runs there, 5 Ks, 6 walks. I was going to say it's a pretty good start until you get to that 6 walks number. Brutal there. And before that, he goes 5 innings, 4 hits, 3 earned runs, a K, and 3 walks versus the White Sox. Nothing on this game. Both these teams' offenses are, I would say the Royals are kind of surging for their standards, and then the Guardians have fallen back down to earth. Nothing for me, Jim. A 10.5 is pretty high, but there probably is some weather aiding to that as well.
Yeah, there is, though aiding to it. But can you imagine that this total in less than 22 hours went up 2 full runs? I mean, 8.5 to 10.5 is nuts to me, and it's almost nuts enough for me to move on the under. Almost. You talk about Plesac. We talk about his splits. He's been much better at home than he has on the road. Although his splits are very interesting. I'm the small sample size is a bit of an issue. We have a couple pitchers here with strange splits, and Dick Mountain in next one with the Red Sox. Next game we will speak of it at some point is also has an issue with splits, but Plesac's been much better at home, and I would back him. But the Guardians have never seen Heasley, and maybe he is a bum, but with 21,000 650 tickets in, 44% of the tickets are on the Royals, and 81% of the cash is on the Royals. And we're talking about a big sample size. So this is the lone game on the entire card, including the morning games, where Sports Insights has given full value to a side. They've given full line value to the Kansas City Royals, and that's very difficult to figure out. Royals rating 239, 672 OPS versus righties. The bullpen is terrible. But if there's that many big bets being put in on the Guardians, it's only moved 10 cents towards the Royals. Then the only thing I would think of doing is I think the market is telling us that Heasley is going to have a good start here against a lineup that has never seen him before. And if he's going to have a good start, you think that Plesac is capable of having a good start. So then should we disregard the wind and believe that the opening line can't possibly be 2 runs, or can't possibly be a 2-run mistake? There has to be some value on the under 10.5. I just don't know if I can move on it.
Yeah, I would probably. I mean, I think the giant jump in the run and the movement makes me scared of it as well. I think, I will credit 4 people primarily in making me the capper that I am today. That'd be you, Pedro Loshak, Preston, and Jeff. And I think I for sure have inherited your sweaty hands. I can say that for a certainty. And 2, I think I've inherited your fear of those giant line movements as well. I mean, so be it if it goes under that at 10.5. Congratulations to all the people that do it. But I think that line movement makes me feel like this is going to be an offensive shootout. And they're expecting, or people think that Plesac is going to get blown up again, and then maybe a Royals bullpen implosion as well, because their bullpen is horrific as well. So no chance I want to do this. And Chip Plyler saying Jeff who? That hurts. That's Jeff Slaughter, the owner and founder and creator of Pub Sports Radio.
The great Jeff Slaughter. Eric Jones says the under 10.5 here. So I've made one bet on this card so far. If I end up with no additions at all, then I will add that under. And if I guess after you talk about the possible Royals bullpen implosion, it's so feasible, then is the under 5.5 at plus money a spot that I should look at? Again, with the weather blowing out, I'll give you the exact numbers right now. 13.7 miles per hour out to right center, and the lowest is 12 miles an hour. I'll refresh that. By the way, speaking of weather movements, I've had the video on the Wrigley wind cam trying to.
I want you to say that sentence again out loud just to realize what we're doing here.
I don't care. I'm proud of it. But yes, I've had the Wrigley wind cam on for the last 4 hours. It's died down a little bit. 12.3 now miles to right center, down to 9.3. So it's God. I think that under.
Well, Jimmy, we'll get there. I promise you, and I'll say some things that will make you want to get on it as well.
But we only have 20 minutes before this game pops off.
Well, we better move quickly, Jim. That's what I just heard. They call me Pace Bouquett for a reason here. And I'm ready to do it right now, Jim. Let's move on real fast. Red Sox, Orioles. We've got Tyler Wells, Dick Mountain, as you previously mentioned. No Tanner Houck piggyback for Dick Mountain today. That's what usually happens. But Tanner went on the 29th yesterday, I believe, apparently. So not going today. So I'm off this game. I will start there. Initial lean to the over. I like Tyler Wells, though. I like Tyler Wells as one of the better Oriole pitchers on the staff as a sinker baller. Like what he's doing. Probably honestly lean towards the Orioles, but nothing here for me, to be honest.
I am very close to now moving on that first 5 under 5.5 in Cleveland. The line moving that, so I'll make that decision here in the next 10 minutes. Over to this Orioles Red Sox game. If you look at the numbers the Red Sox have against Tyler Wells, they hit him hard. So let's move over to the matchup here. So there's how many at-bats? 9, 10, 12, 14, 8, 22 at-bats, and they have 3 homers against them. But that was not Tyler Wells, who's an improving young pitcher. You said nice things about him of this year. He hasn't faced them this year. And that makes me think that also with this spot here, we have the Red Sox. So we have 25,799 tickets in. 81% of the tickets, 83% of the cash are on the Red Sox. So why then has there only been a 5-cent move on the Red Sox? Why are the books not concerned about all the money on the Red Sox? And Saturated also about to move on that first 5 under 5.5. God, I think you might have just pushed me over the edge with that one, and I think I'm going to come with you on it. But that all of this is telling me that Rich Hill's allowed 8 earned runs and 11 2/3 at home. You've watched his starts. Is he a pitcher who's not going to be able to handle Fenway?
I think it's more like a tough luck situation. So we'll start with the one I can think of off the top of my head most vividly is the one against the Twins, Marathon Monday, super early in the morning. His dad dies like that weekend, and then he gets the ball doing like something important for the Red Sox. Everyone really appreciated it, but he got crushed. And then Seattle last time out, that just happens. I can't remember all of his home starts, but I definitely do remember the 2 that he got rocked, or the one, I guess you should rock in with the Marathon game. The Seattle game just seems like it was just a tough day with 4 earned runs and a home run there. And plus, I would say that the Seattle Mariners, even though they've started off shitty, their offense is formidable. So I don't think it's a home road splits guy kind of thing. I just think he's a 40-year-old man that sometimes doesn't have it, and it just happened to be at home that day. And those 2 days, I guess. The Minnesota start is more reasonable. He dominated the Angels at home, but yeah.
Well, that's an interesting take, and he's coming off a beautiful start. A loss, and maybe beautiful is a little much, but against the White Sox, how they hit lefties, 5 innings, 2 earned runs. I mean, that's a very comfortable stat line, and your team should win. They didn't. They lose 3-1 in that game, but I thought that was a sign that he's capable, or more than capable. The Orioles don't hit lefties, 216, 606 OPS. We all expect that number to rise because the Orioles have been able to hit lefties over the last couple of years, but Tyler Wells, as you said, he's a pitcher that's improving, and if he has an okay start here. Now the weather's blowing out, not heavy. If he has an okay start here with this
first 5 under, Jim, is what you're thinking.
Yeah, I mean, it's a 5.5, another 5.5. Ron Lofton says the over 10 seems attainable in the Red Sox game. There's Nasty Nate in the house. Viper says lots of scoring in this game. I mean, if we trust Tyler Wells enough, then Rich Hill is probably not going to implode against this Orioles team that doesn't hit lefties hard.
28th this month. My concern would just be Tyler Wells. I think he's good, obviously, but the Red Sox have just been first against righties this month. They've been hitting everyone. No Cedric Mullins also helps your Orioles case as well. Maybe if you want to specifically look at a team total under for the Orioles, but I think that takes a tremendous sack to do individual team total unders, and I don't have that sack. It's just I've only done it once this year.
You're saying that because of the way Red Sox are hitting righties right now, that you shouldn't bet an under in the game that they're involved in at this point.
Yeah, essentially best in the best in the league this month, better than the Dodgers. It's 138 weighted runs created plus this month. So it's just one of those things where you can't take an under with the Red Sox team that's just been hitting this well, and especially at home. Even players like Jackie Bradley Jr. hit well at home. So it's one of those things. By the way, shout out to DX Filer. It's his birthday today. Shout out to Gamble's team.
Shit.
Yeah, yes.
Happy birthday, DX. What a great guy he is, man. What a great gambler. I love you, DX. You inspire us, and happy birthday, man.
There we go. And by the way, if I'm wrong about that birthday, I'm sorry in advance, DX5, but it is your birthday, I hope. So I'm pretty sure it is. I'm like 98% sure. Let's move on to that game you were talking about earlier, Jim. We'll skip over the Washington Nationals game because I don't have anything to talk about that yet. So we'll talk about this one first. Brewers, Cubs, Ashby, Smiley. And, Jim, you'll be happy to know I am going to move on that first 5 under. I've been looking at it the whole time. The wind was a factor for me as well. I was like, oh, am I really going to bet an under with all this fucking wind blowing? And that's why your comment about the fucking wind cam made me laugh, because I was like, I know Jimmy is going to have more information about the wind than I will. So I'm going to wait. I'm going to talk to Jim about this, and then I'll probably move on the first 5 under because he loves Drew Smiley, and I like Aaron Ashby. I'll say this now officially. I'm moving on the first 5 under. I believe it's 6 on Bovado right now. Yeah, first 5 under 6, which is the highest one I've seen this year. It's very funny, but I got it at minus 120, so that's official for me.
Yeah, I've been wanting to bet it all day. Let's just see if the weather's changed at all in the last 45 minutes, and I'll pull up the cam again. Here we go, the Wrigley Field cam.
It's like a zoo cam. It's like you're watching Harambe, you know? You're just watching the wind.
Harambe. Sorry.
R.I.P. to our sweet prince. His anniversary was a couple days ago, I believe. So R.I.P. to a king.
I have to watch this Lenovo commercial before I get to see the wind again. There it is. Oh, here we go. It's windy, dude. It's windy. Yeah,
I'm taking either way. I was been looking at it the whole day. I'm going to be honest. Like I said, I've been looking and waiting and waiting and waiting. I think Ashby is a good ground ball pitcher, and if he can keep his shit together, that's what I'm concerned about. Smiley obviously has, he's taking a hit, Jim. Like your rotation, you said you wouldn't make the playoff with your rotation of all your favorite guys. Yeah. Unfortunately, that is accurate. Smiley was one of your guys, and he has taken a hit. Last 2 starts, 5 2/3, 4 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 home runs, 5 Ks, 2 walks at Cincinnati, that's acceptable. And then versus the Pittsburgh Pirates, 4 1/3, 6 hits, 3 earned runs, a home run there, 5 Ks, and 1 walk versus the Pirates. So 2 shitty teams. He goes out there, gives up 3 runs both times in 4 innings. That's all right, but not a ace starter for your staff, Jim. But I am in fact on this first 5 under. I thought about taking the first 5 under 5.5, to be honest, to just cut down on the juice as well, because like I said, it's a 6 at minus 120 for me. But I'll play the game here. I'll play the win game.
Nasty Nate's birthday tomorrow as well. Man, God, Nate's a lot of fun. Oh, but by the way, we have ordered a cornhole board for the new house. So,
is there anything on that cornhole bowl?
Yeah, yeah. No, it looks pretty cool. It's pretty cool cornhole board. We'll take pictures.
Like a Raptors one.
But no, that's an interesting. I didn't even think of a Raptors cornhole board. That would be nice. But it's a pretty dope cornhole board, and I'll be ready to rock, Nate, next time we are back in action. Happy birthday, man! What a great guy he is. What a great guy Nate is. We'll give you a lot of love on tomorrow's show, even if you are not there. We have confirmed lineups. I love Ashby. He's had one bad start all year. And I know he wasn't starting the beginning of the year. He's had one bad appearance all year. He's been excellent. And the lineups are in McCutchen, Urias, Taylor, Tellez, Hira, Brosseau, Kane, Matthias, and Caratini. I mean, that's a weak lineup. Going up against the Cubs, Morel, Contreras, Happ, Schwindel, Wisdom, Velasquez, Frazier, Rivas, and Simmons. I'd like to do this as well. It's Drew Smiley that concerns me. Now, the Brewers don't hit lefties, 214, 649 OPS, and both bullpens have been good. And so, but it's the second of a double dip, and in the second of a double dip, a lot of pitchers were used in the first. So I'd want to focus on the first 5. Mm-hmm. And you might have some tired players who've been at the ballpark for 7 hours, 8 hours.
Running around the bases all fucking day. I mean, his first game was 8-7, I believe, final. So, yeah, I'm on the under here. And by the way, I found it very funny. Of course, the under 6 does reflect that the first game's total was 6 through the first 5 innings. So, I'm taking it. And I thought it was interesting that it was 6 same pitcher. The pitchers that we had at starting was like 2 slapdicks of slapdicks. Like you had to look them up on Fangraphs, and you getting the same number as Ashby and Smiley on the bump. I don't know. I like my odds there, Jim. I like my odds there.
I expect to move with you on this. But I don't need to rush on it. I expect to move with you on this. I am going to move on the under 5.5 with this Royals Guardian. You know what? Give me 2 more minutes to think about it. Fuck.
I will. I will. While you think about it, I'll introduce the game we skipped over. I've got no action on it thus far, though I kind of do. I do kind of want to move on the Nationals here, which is shocking to say out loud. Eric Fetty versus David Peterson. Crafty lefty on the bump for those Mets. Last time out for him at the Giants, 6 innings, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, a home run, 6 Ks, 1 walk there. And versus the Atlanta Braves, 5 innings, 4 hits, 4 earned runs, a home run, 6 Ks, 3 walks there. I like Peterson. I think he's a good arm. He's probably better in the bullpen, but obviously the Mets injury situation deems it so that he comes into the starting rotation. Eric Fetty on the other side, and I think when Dallas Keuchel got DFA'd, I lit up a candle and I said my prayers and I said goodbye to the Dallas Keuchel fade. You might want to do the same with Eric Fetty because he's just good now. I think he's obviously progressed as a pitcher, and I think that I need to make a mental note of these things. Jimmy, like you said earlier with Tyler Wells, he'll have shittier numbers with pitchers or players in his past, but I think they're just different pitchers now. I think Eric Fetty could be a different pitcher, and I use the Dodgers as a benchmark start for a lot of those guys. Merrill Kelly was an example earlier in the year when he went well and then dominated and for a little stretch there. I did the same thing actually with Merle again with the Dodgers because he faces them like every other week and he got crushed. And I was like, okay, well, it's time now to fade Merle. It didn't work out with me actually with the last Dodgers game. I think there was a 3-2 or something like that. And I took the run line, but I will be for fading him as the time comes. But Fetty against the Dodgers last time out, 6 innings, 4 hits, no earned runs, 6 Ks, 1 walk. And then at Milwaukee, a team that has obviously been hitting this month and is fighting for a division, 5 2/3, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, a home run, 4 Ks, and 3 walks there. Point of all this soliloquy is I'm going to bet on Eric Fetty in spots this year. It is definitely going to happen, but I don't think it's going to be here. I don't want to fuck with the Mets right now. They're that good. 5th this month against righties, 120 weighted runs created plus. And against the lefties, Nationals not the best either, 21st, 97 weighted runs created plus. So a bad average, but still, I'm going to pass on the game, but I just wanted all that to say is that I think Eric Fetty is going to be a bet-on pitcher this year. So just watch Fetty and see how he does, and we'll see how this game goes. Actually, I hope he kind of gets touched up so it'll make the next game he goes a better betting opportunity. So we'll see here. But what do you have on this one, Jimmy?
Well, I think you spoke perfectly about Fetty, and the market's pretty much corrected itself already on Fetty. We had to wait a long time for these Nationals, the brass that's stuck with Fetty for so long, to look right. He's 29 years old now, and he's pitching really well. And so I stared at this game for a long time because the Nats have no power against lefties. 253, 657 OPS. And if Fetty is capable of holding the Mets to like 2 runs, then you have to think that first 5 unders in play. Now, it's 4.5 at plus 105. I could build the 5. I was staring at it for a while, building the 5. It's a minus 132 if I build the 5. But at this point, I don't want that much juice on an under when, as you say, the Mets are smashing righties. So Peterson didn't pitch for 3 weeks. He came back and had a nice start at the Giants in the pitcher's ballpark against a team that doesn't hit lefties very well. And either do the Nats. I find this under
sounding like Noli right now.
Yeah, and I did just bet that under first 5 under 5.5 in Cleveland. So I feel like this is a feasible under, but 38% of tickets are on the over and 56% of the cash. So you have some big bets coming in on that over. When we look at the market movement of that over right now, it's gone from 8.5 and it hit 9 at 3:45 p.m. And the Nats bullpen has actually been better of late. So with all that being said, what up, Brian Watson? Gas report. What's happening, you guys? With all that being said, Viper on the Mets first 5 -1.5 and the Mets -1.5. So Viper still doesn't believe in Fetty. There's Rayhan Hyder in the house. So
what up, Rayhan?
I found this game very difficult But if it was 2-2 after 5, that seems very reasonable. And I don't think Fetty's going to get rocked here. Fetty also didn't just throw 9 innings. It was a 6-inning start. What was his?
And if you want to have a little bit of a track record, Fetty, this first start of this season was against these Washington Nationals. 5 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs there, 5 Ks, 2 walks, 1 home run allowed. So a little bit of success. Mets. Yes, against these Mets. That was the first start of the season for him. And I'm not going to look at his. He again, like I said, he's not going to be a guy that I look at his like career stats against like the Mets because or the Phillies or whatever, because all those numbers are going to be just inflated. He's getting crushed against those probably for his career. So I'm definitely just focusing on just this year.
9
I couldn't get there
too. And it's because of the way the Mets hit righties.
Essentially, yeah. And like I said, if he does get crushed here, I actually will be a little happy because that will mean that his next time he comes out there, price might be a little bit more inflated, and he'll be like, "Oh, Eric Fetty, he stinks, fade Fetty," and then hopefully we get a good dog price on him. So that'd be worst case scenario for me.
And what's keeping you off the first 5 under?
Well, I mean, David Peterson has pitched well, but like I said, I do think if I'm taking a side here, it's for sure the Nationals. I think that Fetty would outpitch Peterson. I mean, I do think that the Nationals offense is putrid and horrid in all those examples. But if the worst comes to worst, it could be, you said 4.5 is the total. It could be 5-0 Mets pretty quickly if Fetty does come out there and shit the bed. So if I'm picking a side, it's the Nationals here. But if the worst case scenario happens and Fetty blows up and I'm just completely wrong here, I think that the Mets could put up 5 against him on a bad day pretty easily. We've seen how bad he has looked. If this was his first start against the Mets, it'll make me feel a little better. The distance in that first start makes me feel better about that. But there's been familiarity, so I just staying off. Would rather bet him outside of division is what I'm coming down to, is what all this is coming down to. I'd rather bet him against teams that have not seen his shittier self before. So
I think that's well put.
And Wallaby King saying that we need our guy Manberg here. Manberg Pig is in spirit. Manberg Pig, a whisper on those Nationals. He's called Nationals money line on this show a couple times and hit. So shout out to him. He's 2-1 on them, I believe, this year. So and big price for the Nationals always. So good job by him. Jimmy, let's move on because we have a little card here, and I appreciate how in depth and how much you want to talk about these games. But I like having a brisk pace, Jim.
Sure.
Call me brisk pace Bouquet. But I appreciate it. Glenn Otto and Drew Rasmussen here. And you know that I've been on Drew throughout this whole year. He's got one of the best first 5 records. I should actually pull that up now and relay it because I think it's 8-1 now. But I'm on him here. First 5 -0.5 at -105. I actually think Glenn Otto is going to be a good pitcher, Jim. We've talked about him before. You like him as well. I like his stuff. His stuff metrics were really high to start this year. I was like, okay, interesting. And he's pitched well. I mean, at the Angels, division leader, Ohtani, Trout, all those guys, you got all that mystique. He goes in there, 5 innings, 3 hit ball, 1 earned run, 7 Ks, 2 walks. He's not indestructible. He'll give up, he'll have a bad start here and there. And coming off 2 good ones, like I said, at the Angels and at Houston, I think this might be one of those times where it's like, all right, you've had 2 great starts against top opponents in this league. Maybe it's time for you to come back down to earth here. I like Drew. The Rays always seem to hit for him. He gave up 3 earned runs in his last start versus Miami, but those 3 earned runs came after like a 5-run first inning. I believe it was a 5 or 4 first-run inning, and he kind of was in cruise control from then on out. So pitching more to contact and all that good stuff, and he gave up those runs, and I'm not really worried about it. So first 5 -0.5 for me, -105, pretty confidently. Shout out to Drew. He's helped me out a lot.
Yeah, and it's DX's 2-unit play of the day. Wow. I stared at this game for a long time, and I wanted to bet that first 5 under. but at 4, I mean, you're getting plus money or even plus 100. So with no vig, I still had a very difficult time getting there. Rasmussen's really good. There's no doubt about that. And Glenn Otto is now going to take this opportunity to be a pitcher in Major League Baseball. He's 26 years old. He's had he's had enormous potential and was part of the Gallo trade, and he didn't look good in the beginning of the year, and now he's starting to look really good, and he's pitched really well against division rivals, the Astros included, and the Rays don't hit righties hard, 231, 682, and the Rangers don't hit righties, 226, 637. So I understand exactly why this has moved to the under. 37% of tickets are on the under, but 61% of the cash is on that under, with 21,625 tickets in. 81% of tickets.
Looked at it too.
Yeah.
It's a good look. I don't hate anyone that plays it. I like both these pitchers for sure.
So do I, but that's just a little too. I mean, so we need 3 runs in 5, and that's not easy. Even though these teams don't hit righties, maybe we're talking into it. I might talk myself into it a little more. There has been a 15-cent move towards the Rays, although it came back. There was only a 1 or a 5-cent move as of 9 this morning, and then there's been a 10-cent move since then. And there's been a 5-cent move to the over from -115 to -120. It's just too low. It's just a little too low for me. But I get why you guys are on the Rays here. It's probably the right bet. But I have some concern that Otto pitches very well here, and it kept me off, but maybe I should not be so concerned and I should move on. It feels like I'm starting to feel like I'm leaving money on the table because I have faith in Otto. None of these Rays have ever seen Otto before, and the Rangers have only had 4 at-bats against Rasmussen. So,
I mean, that helps a lot. I have a 4.5 -125 in my head just now. I was thinking it's probably a 4, and I think 4 is a little dice. But 4.5 is okay. It's a little juicy, obviously, and those are the plays that really fucking piss me off to lose. A juicy total and it goes over just really infuriates me for some reason. I don't know if it's just the juice and all that money losing, but if I'm playing a side or a total here, it is absolutely 100% the first 5 under here. Someone in the chat said it earlier. I'll find it here. But the Rangers lost a heartbreaker yesterday, and they use a lot of their bullpen. So, maybe if you want to consider a live bet there, obviously, if it's a low-scoring first 5 innings and maybe the Rangers have it close, you could bet the Rays live and see because that bullpen obviously is atrocious. But I like Glenn Otto, and it's a shame that he's going against another guy that I like a lot, Drew Rasmussen. But it's just one of those things that I've been on Drew the whole year. I should have, and I've been on other pitchers as well, and I need to stick by this more, actually. It's been helping me, but Logan Gilbert, another example. I like Logan Gilbert a lot. I think he's a great pitcher. I did not back him in his last start where I thought he would pitch well for plus money, and it bothered me, I guess. So this is just coming back to that, but I was on Drew Rasmussen last start, the start before, and it's just cash, and I'm going to keep riding it until the cows come up.
Do we have confirmation that the roof's open in Texas? I guess very likely.
I did see it on Ballpark Pal, which was weird because obviously, it's against the weather and stuff, which made me feel like it was open.
It's sure blowing out hard. 17.3 miles per hour at first pitch.
Yeah, and obviously when you look at Ballpark Pal, Ranger Stadium is always like subtract or minus whatever percentage in runs, extra base hits, home runs. It's just not a pitcher friend or not a hitter friendly ballpark. So another case for your under there.
Ron Walsack says Rays after big series flying to Texas, Rangers full game.
Ronnie, I like that. I like that call. Not bad there. So you're gonna sit there and ponder this under as well?
No, I just can't do it. I just did a little bit too low here. I think you guys are probably on the right track, and I'd be curious to see what I'd get on that. I do not. One of the things that really bothers me now, DX Filer says Otto is bad, so DX Filer doesn't believe in him. Maybe I'm too high on Glenn Otto, but it would really bother me if I was to move against him and he'd have a start where I was like, that's the stuff that would like really, really, really get to me. The first 5 minus a half for me right now. At minus 110. I get your guys' look. I get the price. I get it all. I'm going to hold off at this point, but I get it.
Beautiful. Well, that was a lovely little breakdown of that game. And I'll tell you, probably the most in-depth breakdown of Rangers Rays you'll find on the internet today. Very much so. How about we move on to this next game? Because I do have a play on this, Jim. And I actually saw that you have a play on this game, too. It warmed my
I'm
tummy.
excited.
Warm my tummy. I hope that I get to send you a text message today that I enjoy sending you today, or sending you, Jim. Atlanta Braves, Arizona Diamondbacks here. Gallen versus Spencer Strider. And I think one of my mantras that I've, you learn something. You learn some lessons capping a baseball season publicly for the first time. And one of those lessons I have learned, Jim, is that I should always back dudes with shitty, crusty mustaches just like my own. I should always back those dudes. Example, Nestor Cortez. Look at my cousin Nestor, dominating, arguably, AL Cy Young leader right now. While we have now another opponent, a candidate, an entry into the shitty mustache Hall of Fame. It is Spencer Strider here. Dirty mustache that man has. However, he also throws dirty stuff, Jim. 100 miles an hour, gas, slider, changeup guy. I very much like his shit. The Braves obviously produce pitchers like no one else. It's just like the Rays, except they just do starters. The Braves do. They're just pumping out starters. And now they're realizing, hey, maybe we throw some of those guys in the back of our bullpen and figure it out. Spencer has been a bullpen guy this whole year. It's kind of shocking if you look at his fan graphs here. He's not given up a run since the 13th, and that was the only 3 runs he's given up. Only 2 runs, he's given up this month. He's been phenomenal this year. He's going to be a fun pitcher to watch. I'm excited to watch this game in particular, and I was shocked to see the line, Jim, too. Zach Gallen has been, if not the NL Cy Young leader, right up there. He's been phenomenal as well. He's been kind of the face of this Diamondbacks pitching rebirth, him, Brent Strom, Merle Kelly, all those guys. And he finally got touched up a little bit versus the Kansas City Royals of all people. But that makes me, let's face it, he's a human being and he's not your Justin Verlander Hall of Fame starter. So he's going to give up some runs, even if it's against those Royals. So I think he bounces back here today pretty confidently. I like Spencer Strider and his shit. So I took the first 5 under here, 4.5 minus 125. A lot of first 5 unders for us on this show, but the pitchers today deem it so. Like I said, this will be another one of those high price unders or totals that really piss me off when I lose it. So I took pause here, but I like both these pitchers, and I think that they will get it done here. The only concern would be, shockingly enough, the Arizona Diamondbacks hitters. 119 weighted runs created plus this month against righties. That's 7th in the league. And obviously at Arizona is a kind of a hitter's ballpark, but we'll see here. Jim, you will know better than me if the roof is open, and on Ballpark Pal, you can see all the plus runs, plus 14%, extra base hits, plus 21%. It's just the Arizona factors there. But I'm taking it. It's a high number, 4.5. I believe in these guys, and we ride. Jim, what are you on? Well, actually, I know you're on. You're on this as well.
But it took me hours to pull the trigger because the roof is open. And that's not only the angle. This is the angle. Spencer Strider wants to be a starter. It's his first chance starting in major leagues. I know he's not going to be. They're not expecting 6 innings from him, but I just a little worry he's going to be extra amped up. He started 21 games last year in AAA, and he was unbelievable. 153 strikeouts in how many innings? Just a ridiculous in 94 innings. 153 strikeouts in 94 innings. He has 37 strikeouts so far in 24 in a third. He's pitched in 11 games. He has finished games, but he hasn't started games. And I'm a little nervous about that. I think Gallen will bounce back fine. I'm not concerned there. Neither team hits righties hard, so I think we're in a good spot. And we're staying away from the Diamondbacks bullpen by taking out first 5. So with the roof open, the wind is I think it's left to right slightly out, slightly. But as you said from Ballpark Pal, that there's an expectation of a lot more offense when the roof is open, and it's not ridiculously hot either tonight. Like, it's really nice temperature for a ball game. I got minus 115 on the under 4.5, and I'm nervous. I'm nervous about Strider, and I think we'll know right away if Strider. I don't want Strider throwing 101 in the first pitch. Like, I don't want him jumping out of his cleats. I just want him to maintain composure and understand that this isn't a one-off opportunity, and he'll get more chances to start. But yes, I'm on that first 5 under 4.5 with you guys, with Ron Lofton, with Viper NB. We're all on it, and I'm expecting a bounce back from Gallen. And I almost took the Braves. I came very close to taking the Braves as well on the full game. We have 22,142 tickets in, and it's 59% of the tickets are on Gallen in Arizona and 64% of the cash. 52% of the tickets are on the under, 57% cash on the under. I'm pretty comfortable there. And there's Tuate Latte, says his favorite play is also -0.5 first 5 for the Tampa Bay Rays.
Shout out to Mr. Pussy Coffee.
You guys are all you're in good company. You're in good company, but I'm with you guys. I'm just I'm not sitting here overly confident in it, but I'm with you guys.
Well, Jim, if you were sitting on something overly confident, I would be surprised, especially in baseball. Only in hockey are you sitting overly confident in things, as I've realized. And I like it. I like that effort.
Well, thank you. Already, we had the easy walk through the Royals lineup, but as was predicted by the chat, Heasley's having a tough time with this Guardian lineup. So I don't like that. Don't like that at all. Let's roll on, my friend, but I'm with you on the first 5 under 4.5.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Jim, I hope that I'll caress your needs and wants on this next game, because it's kind of a stinker, because I don't have anything on this game. It's incredibly juiced, but I will say this. I don't believe any baseball team should be minus 300 against anyone. If it was the LA Dodgers versus the Savannah Bananas, maybe. But it's the LA Dodgers versus the Pittsburgh Pirates, and I think this game is just hilarious to look at. The total's at 8. You got a minus 360 for the Dodgers. And if you just look at it, the books and everyone's basically saying is, we don't think the Pittsburgh Pirates are scoring in this game. They will score 2 times, maybe, in this game, is what everyone's thinking. And I think that's hilarious to just think about. They're expecting Walker Buehler to go out there, and you've got absolutely no reason to think to oppose. I mean, like, all the numbers say Walker's going to dominate. He went to the Nationals last time out, 6 innings, 6 hits, 3 runs, 2 of them earned, 3 Ks, 2 walks. And against the Diamondbacks, 5 innings, 6 hits, 2 earned runs, 4 Ks, 2 walks. Second against righties are these Dodgers. They've been phenomenal. Zach Thompson, a bit of a slapdick. He's gone out there and he's had good starts, but he'll always come back with a bad one. 3 innings, 7 hits, 4 earned runs, a home run, 3 Ks, no walks versus the Rockies. And then he got he did a good job against the Cardinals. 5 innings, 5 hits, 1 earned run, 2 Ks, 1 walk. Point of all this is to say, if I'm picking a side here, it is 1 billion% the Pittsburgh Pirates here. I would take the Pittsburgh Pirates money line here. I think if you took the plus whatever dog against minus 300s, you will be in the plus money by the end of the year. I did that with Garrett Cole and the Orioles. I did that pretty confidently. Well, I wouldn't even say pretty confidently. I mean, we talked about it throughout the whole show. I was kind of waffling back and forth, saying how I think the Orioles could win this game. And they ended up winning, which is great. And then I was like a week straight of betting the Orioles for me, just because of that one play, I think. But point is, I like the Pirates, if you're going to bet this game, maybe a team total. You're not expecting the Pirates offense or, whatever to hang with. But twice, give me 2 runs, guys. The total at 8, I could see the over as well, because if worst case scenario, you'll see blowout from the Dodgers, 10-0, whatever. Right now, you can get a 2.5 for the team total for the Pirates, a -125. So that sucks. But I just think you'd rather just run the plus 280 and see if you can find yourself a prairie dog in a hole or whatever the saying is. Ultimately, nothing here for me, Jim. What about you?
Yeah, ultimately nothing here as well. I'm wondering. We're waiting for Walker Buehler to have. He had a nice start at Chicago on the 8th of May. He's had one nice start at home, but it was 5 innings long versus Detroit. So we're all kind of. This is around the time when he's likely to start pitching very well. But he certainly has not been lights out from a K to walk ratio this year. He's not destroying his opposition. And I wanted to move on the over 8, but I got cold feet there. Dodgers 258, 787 OPS versus righties. I mean, there's certainly no way I would even begin to think about moving on the Dodgers with a line like this. We have 29,972 tickets in. There's the Pirates have the second highest line value on the entire card, says Sports Insights. And at this number, I get it. 15% of the tickets are on the Pirates and 25% of the cash. So some big bets have been made on the Pittsburgh Pirates. 40% of the tickets are on the under and 66% of the cash is on the under. And, with all that being said, I didn't find a reason couldn't figure out a way to make a move on this game. But I barely bet Dodgers games all year. They're a tricky cap right now, and I don't want them as huge favorites, even though they cover the run line all the time. I've watched certain cappers like Connor Mack handle the Dodgers with extreme skill. I am not able to do that. So Danzo giving us a final score of 5-3. Tuate is on Dodgers first 5 -1 at -155. I cashed a nice big -1 first 5 with the Astros a little while ago, or Friday, I believe. But
I haven't gotten there yet, but I don't hate it. I've seen spots where I've thought about that as well, so I don't hate that as well. I will say, Jim, I said all that. I think I need to put my money where my mouth is with this bullshit. I did the parlay yesterday, and then I expected it to lose. But I'm going to take the Pirates money line here, Jim. I'm going to stick to my guns here, and I'm going to say every time I see a minus like 300, I'm going to bet the other side because I don't think anyone should be minus 300. I think it's pretty crazy to see. And let's just say this: if I was a smart gambler that was betting a large amount of money on the Pirates, for example, and they take like a 2-3-0 lead, it's automatically bet the Dodgers and try to get a middle or whatever you want to do with that. But for these purposes, I'm taking the Pirates money line here. I understand all the scenarios. Everything's on the Dodgers. I'm going to feel like a fucking idiot just tweeting out that I'm on Pirates money line. And if they get blown out 10-0, then I'll feel like a bigger idiot the next morning. But I'm going to take it, ride it. And if it's a close game, we'll see what the fuck happens. So
if you did this in NHL this year, you would have been a wealthy man. So I think it's a tough bet to make, but if you can start making it almost blindly, then I believe you'll have a winning ROI by the end of the season.
That's kind of that's what I'm figuring as well. Like I did it with the Orioles. Obviously, Garrett Cole. There's some malice in my heart towards Garrett Cole that helped me make that bet. This is one of those where I'm like, I really do not want to make this bet, but I'm going to make the bet because I believe in the fact that no one should be a minus 300. And if we hit 1 out of 3 of these, we're good. We're all right.
By the way, there has been a move to the under in that Cubs game. So it's moved to 10.5. That first 5 is still at 6, but I've just lost 5 cents of juice from -115 to -120.
I could understand mentally. It is a little bit of a hurdle taking the -120 over the 15. It is only 5 cents, but mentally it is a jump.
Well, it's all my fault for being hesitant. It's entirely my fault for being hesitant. And another spot here is that I let this supposed and now this could obviously change, but I let this supposed line value. I think that when we have a pitcher like Dan Plesac, who has a 7 ERA on the road and a 3 ERA at home, and we know he's a better pitcher than his numbers indicate, and he's at home. I should have just bet on him. It was a mistake that I didn't bet on him immediately. Kobe Williams says, "What do you guys think about the Dodgers team total over 5?" I looked at it, and I looked at it on the -1 calculator as well, and it's just too juiced for me, so I didn't want it.
Another way you could back the Pirates here, if you don't want to take their full game money line like I just did, you can get a first 5 team total of over 1.5 at +125. If we think Walker's going to struggle a little bit here, he's kind of not been himself, all that good stuff. And the Pirates offense is, again, if you look at the lineup, it makes me want to throw up. But if you think they score 2 +125, there is a pretty good price for it. So not bad there at all, Jim. Not bad there at all. Jim, how are you feeling? This is a Say Hey Plays, another one under your belt. This is your second one. How are you feeling?
Thankful to be here on Say Hey Plays. I'm good. I'm feeling good. I found this card pretty perplexing, but I like it. I like it. So I have fired 2 shots now, and I'm starting to have fear of missing out on that under 6 because I'm an Ashby guy. I think I would prefer a Cubs team total under, just in case Smiley gets lit up and smoked, because it would surprise nobody if he got lit up and smoked. Let me just quickly, before we put a bow on this bad boy, I would just like to look at those splits again, even though I know I've already looked at them. I just want to.
And while you do, I will shout out my guy, everyone's guy in here. Terry Coker did make an appearance. I didn't shout it out because we were in the middle of this, but shout out to Terry Coker for being here. Of course, he was not MIA. I expected him to be here. He's got life things, guys. If he joins late, whatever, he's here.
Yeah.
Shout out to you, my man, Mr. Coker. And if you can't, or if you have not seen the beginning of the show, my guy, go and watch the beginning of the show because there was a special shout out for you. And while you're also looking that up, Mr. MDR. Giving us our Say Hey Plays 54. He comes in the chat and gives us our famous 54s and our whoever wears the numbers that day. And for 54, it's Goose freaking Gossage. And
nice.
Game 7. It's Game 7 thoughts, Mr. MDR. Watch the beginning of the show. Jimmy's on nothing. I'm on the Canes. So and Jimmy did about how he's fat and happy in the NHL.
Yeah, man. I hit 10 of my last 11. Are you fucking kidding me?
Exactly.
I'm going to get a massage at the poker game tonight. I'm not. There's no massages there. But you can't play poker while getting a massage because if you're getting a massage and you raise, now maybe I could start using that. But what were you going to say?
You have to tip. You have to tip the girl if you raise. Is that law?
No, it's not that. It's just that you probably just want to relax if you're getting the massage from a big titted masseuse, and if you make a bet, you clearly have something.
I learned this is some things you learn, life experiences while arranging the poker tournament in San Antonio for a lovely Palooza. I learned that women do not want to be asked if they want to be masseuses in a poker game. That is typically not something I got a lot of weird looks. I mean, like, no, what the fuck? But I did try. I did ask.
There's DX Filer saying you should not play poker while getting a massage. See, there's a professional poker player telling us that. Yes, I agree. It's funny that the women don't like being told that they make a good masseuse. Yeah.
Well, I also did mention the tips from the massages, but then I think that it started getting into the Bob Kraft type of massage territory, and I think that's maybe where the miscommunication might have happened.
Speaking of which, I have a new pickup line for you guys. If anyone wants one out there, here you go.
Hold on. Let me write it down.
Okay. Sure. You say, "Are you oil of Olay? Because you just got all the wrinkles out of my cock." What do you think, Jose?
Well, I'm young, so I don't know what oil of Olay is.
Oh, okay.
But the wrinkles are, in fact, out of my cock after this show. It has been a fantastic show. I love it very much when I get to share the screen with my father, Jimmy the Bag. It's a little father-son bonding on a Monday afternoon. It is a fun time. Jim, where can the people find you at? You're a busy man. You do a lot of things. You have a show? Anything coming up?
I do have a show. I'm very excited about it. Very excited about this week's action here. I'm excited to talk about the Avalanche Oilers. I feel like I could talk about it for like 45 minutes. I'm very excited. I'm excited to see who.
I forgot
Say
about
what?
that. I forgot about Connor McDavid. It took me a second to process. I was like, the Oilers. Do I have anyone to root for? Oh, McDavid.
Yes,
So
of course. So I'm very excited about that. I'm excited to see who's going to play the Lightning. I'm excited to see all this stuff. I'm excited to figure out how much money I'm going to make when the season's over, because that's the unfortunate. At least the one good thing is, it's probably a bad thing. And I cut down all of my futures because of it, because a lot of people don't want to bet futures because they don't want their money held up. But then if you're using a local, obviously you're using credit, and you can put as much in. And I think it's hurt me in the long run, but it's not going to hurt me this year. I'm getting the last laugh, and I want to know how much money I'm going to make. But what's most important here is DX Filer's birthday today, and Nasty Nate's birthday tomorrow. Two great guys and cappers we love working with.
Yes, it is going to be a lovely time tomorrow. DX, happy birthday today. I hope that you tell us about whatever escapades you do tonight. He was crushing his bookie, I saw. He got a lovely text message from his bookie saying, happy birthday. What the fuck are you doing, my man? You're up so much. I can't do this anymore. Shout out to DX. He's dominating, as always. A good gambler in all respects. By the way, Jim, one of my life goals is to make the World Series of Poker, but I'm going to be wearing a headphone, and I'm going to have DX Filer just telling me like what to do and how to play in the World Series of Poker. So I'm very excited for that. One of my many life goals. One of my many life goals. It's going to be fun. Jim, I hope that I get to hear about your life goals. Well, tell me a life goal of yours, Jim. We'll end the show like that. This is a Peter Loshak kind of ending.
I would like to move my family to Vegas. That's my life goal right now. I want to. I'm moving him out of Parkdale into a house. Now I've just got to. I've got to create a situation. Thank you, but I got to create a situation where I've got to make it more lucrative. My girlfriend, she's ride or die, but I have to show her that if we do this, this is what we'll get. And I haven't been able to sell it right yet, other than like, my content will be so much more fun if I can just, go to
content, babe, the content.
Yeah, I can't. So that's my goal. I'd like to move to Vegas. It's where my parents met. Wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Vegas. So I'd like to, because my goal was I wanted to be a dad, and I've accomplished that. I'm excited about fatherhood. So yeah, so that was my main goal. I wanted to be all the things that my dad wasn't.
I have a better relationship with you than you have with your dad, but I will also say I also have a better relationship with your dad than you. So I like this. I like where this is going. I can't wait. You're lucky, Jim. You're lucky that I don't have a way to contact him, because I definitely would tell him to come on the Father's Day show without you knowing. I would 100% do that. But you're lucky. I'll just let you know that now.
Dizzy Rothstein says, my lifetime goal is to quit my job and do sports betting full time without going broke. That is a very, very respect. I respect that goal enormously. And
shout out,
I respect it enormously. I love it. Thank you so much for having me, Jose, my guy.
No worries. DX Filer asking a good question. Where is this convo heading? I don't know, DX Filer. My intros are long, rambling. I do just like talking to my guests sometimes about random things. Jimmy and I, we don't get to talk all the time. He's such a busy man, and he has a family and all this stuff. And I'm kind of the forgotten family, whatever that is. But we'll be seeing each other maybe soon. I cannot wait. It's going to be a fun time for all of us. Catch us tomorrow. Betting with a Bag, a.k.a. The Loshak Show, a.k.a. Loshak and Bouquett, a.k.a. Loshak in the Bag. It took me a second to remember it. I was like, what is it again? I was like, okay, there it is. Loshak in the Bag. No, I got it. Hey, I got it. It took me a second, but I got it. It's going to be a fun time tomorrow. Pete is always a good time. Nasty Nate's birthday pick. It's going to be good. Saturated. I appreciate that question. We're not going to repeat it for the fans at home. Dennis Garcia, appreciate you for joining all the people as always. Sammy, Dizzy, Wallaby King, Mr. MDR, Eldorado Custodian. Thank you guys. We had a $10 dono earlier in the show. I love that, and he will get a banner as well. Shout out to the Sailor, Paul Taylor, as always. So, okay, guys, as always, have a great Memorial Day. Go to our friends at Dr. Squatch. Link in the description. Use the promo codes Memorial 10 and 15. Last day of the Memorial Day sale. Catch us on Twitter. My name is Jose Bouquett. You can always say hey to me on social media at Jose Bouquett. And you can find Jimmy the Bag on Twitter at Jimmy the Bag. And you can find us here tomorrow. It's going to be a fun time. Jimmy, I'll see you in a couple hours, eh?
I look forward to it, my friend. And thank you to all who watched.
Yes, thank you all, everyone who watched. Good luck at your poker tournament tonight. Tell I think our mutual friend. Well, I wouldn't call her a friend. I would call her an enemy of mine, though she does not know. Let our mutual friend. God, I fucking can't remember her name either. Son of a bitch, Tiffany Michelle. Let her know that it's Bridget Case, gang or die, and I hope she loses a lot of money today. Just let her know that for me, please.
I will.
Thank you guys as always, and don't forget to say hey, and we'll see you guys mañana.